Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Cheeseadelphia 6. I am joined by the one and only GG Emini of
E-Mini.
of all things Protoss fame. How's it going, man?
Absolutely wonderful. I got out of my group. Feeling pretty good about that.
Who'd you face off against?
I did Caleb in the first match, and then I did 0-2 against Jon Snow, and then a 2-1 against Caleb again.
Nice. Congratulations.
Wow, thanks so much, dude.
And now you get a little bit of time. You decided that you wanted to spend it watching StarCraft, as you kind of always doing. Like,
Yeah.
at every given moment, you're just, like, absorbing more StarCraft.
Basically, that's my life.
All right. So how you feeling about this series that we have coming up? It's going to be Creature versus Epic. Two very interesting North American players right now.
Yeah, Creature hasn't really played that much recently, as far as I'm concerned. Like, I was talking to him a little bit before. He said he kind of just came back for this patch. So we'll see what he has, if he's like kind of up to date with the meta and whatnot, or if he is going to get a little bit outclassed, I would say, against Epic.
Yeah, the kind of funny thing is Epic is also one of those players that I think he's been known to take quite a few breaks from StarCraft. He just sort of disappears for like 4 or 5 months at a time and comes back. And I think he's been back for maybe like a month or so.
Oh, is it only that little?
That's at least what I'm familiar with. I've seen him playing on the ladder a bit in the past month, but yeah, he still also seems to be a little bit out of practice. But still, he's been one of those players that even though he's out of practice, you kind of ask people, oh, how is Epic probably going to do? It's like, well, he's out of practice, but it's still Epic. He's still really good.
He's probably still going to do some mine drop timing and kill 50 probes.
Wait a second, my Widow mines are visible after they shoot? Oh, God. Yeah, should be fun. But, of course, I also want to mention that I think Creature's... One of the things I like about Creature is that he is a player that I feel, usually when I see him, he's a bit more of a macro player. I feel like I get to see him in more of those macro-oriented situations, which sometimes kind of bites him in the butt because I feel like doesn't have the killer instinct sometimes that he needs, but it's a kind of different style. What would you say?
For the most part, the games that I see him are macro-oriented. I agree with you. But like he hasn't played in forever, so like I don't remember exactly. Like the games were obviously were in a past meta as well. So
yeah,
we'll see if he can bring out the killer instinct in these games or not, or if he's going to end up just sitting passive the entire time. So, but he is a macro player. I agree with you. Yeah, I don't see him all in very often, to be honest.
All right. Well, it's going to be a Protoss versus Terran for those not familiar with their races, and our first map is going to be Catalyst. Should be a pretty fun one. But all right. Let's go ahead and get ready to jump into the game and introduce the players as we start down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. Top of the red Protoss player. Put your hands together for Sloth Esports Club's Creature. And his opponent, spawning up here in the top left-hand corner of the map, we have the blue Terran player. It's Psystorm Gaming's Epic. All right. Gemini, how you feeling about this map, Catalyst, for this Protoss versus Terran?
I like Catalyst. I think it's a really good map. I feel like looking at this map in general, like this is going to be the next Abyssal or Ascension. Like it's going to be in this pool for like however many more extra seasons, basically. Like, to the point where we're kind of sick of it. Like I'm sick of Abyssal at this point. Like I don't want to play on it anymore.
You don't like Abyssal?
I veto it now. I don't like it. It's really annoying
funny
to play against. Specific styles are just really awkward. Like tank pushes can be really awkward.
Yeah.
If they play super turtle, there's like a lot of small choke points. I don't like playing on Abyssal. But like Catalyst, I like as an overall map. There's a lot of open areas, but also a lot of constricted areas. So it just has a lot of variance, I feel like. And it can cater towards any style.
Yeah, and I'm trying to also think back of, I guess, when I last remember Epic playing, because that also could influence maybe what sort of meta he's into, if he's been keeping up with the meta. Ooh, nice little raise on the supply depot. Gets an extra shot or two off on the probe. Just nice to soften it up and prevent it from being too annoying.
Yeah, I actually do like when people do this. I mean, I don't like it when I'm playing, but like I like when Terran players do it because it allows you to not block the command center for as long. And like it doesn't seem like a lot, but like when you get to the point where you're just sitting there the entire time and they haven't had an SCV on you, you can block that for until like 240, like 240 or 250, 252, and it's really obnoxious as a or 152, sorry, as a Terran player. But he got it down pretty normally time this game.
And Creature just gonna go ahead and back on up. There's a Reaper on the way that of course would have been able to push that probe back anyways, so he's gonna opt to try and keep it alive a little bit longer. Epic has gotten his basic scouting information off, but he did not actually see that there was the full wall off at the top of that main base ramps or main base area. So may end up wasting a little bit of time if he comes in from that angle.
Yeah, this is something that a lot of Protoss do now, and it's something that I'm not that keen of, just because I like to bait the Reaper in, and then I have a Reaper wall on like the side next to the gas, and then I just bait them in behind the minerals and get the kill that way. Because in this point, or in this scenario, like the Reaper can usually just walk away, and it's hard to actually get the kill on it. But if they are allowed into the base, which I like to do,
Yeah.
I can kind of screw with them a little bit.
Living dangerously, I see.
A little bit, sure.
We do actually have the Twilight Council coming down at the front as a part of like a semi-wall over here.
Yeah.
I sometimes see, like, I've seen some Protoss players start minor wall-offs versus a lot of the Hellion openings that we've been seeing. But how do you feel about it, especially having this kind of tech there?
Yeah, it's weird that he put the Twilight there, to be honest. Like, usually you hide at least the tech, like if it's Robo first or Twilight first or Stargate first.
It's fearless, man.
Yeah, it's weird to put the tech there. Usually you just wait until you put you have to make the 2 extra gateways and you put the 2 gates there. So I don't think it's really that necessary to put the Twilight in front, because it kind of just openly says, yo, this is exactly what I'm doing, and you don't have to actually scout for it. And you don't actually need the wall that early either. Like, the 2 gateways time up perfectly to when Hellions would be coming in. So putting the Twilight out this early in front instead of hiding it back, I don't really see a reason to, personally.
All right. Well, this game, it is just going to be 3 gateways. He's playing pretty defensively, even getting up the shield battery, like you mentioned, that wall. And while he is getting a blink and could maybe put on some kind of pressure, this almost just feels like a very defensive blink. And that might end up being useful if he is able to get a nice snipe off the medevac or something as it moves across the map.
Yeah, this game specifically strikes me as someone who is not fully attuned to the new meta. Like, this looks like a game where someone understands what's strong at the moment, but isn't entirely sure exactly how to use it in its most like strong state, basically.
Yeah.
Like, most people would be getting a 3rd base by this time. It would be down at like 4 to 430 or something like that. This Widowmine drop's gonna come in.
Oh no, he's not reacting until the last second. Oh, one of those Widowmines almost looked like he could have gotten a decent shot off. Another Widowmine gonna go ahead and go toward the main base. It does get focus fired down. It's gonna get picked off. Other 2 Widowmines not really getting too much damage done.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
2 workers.
Apparently we're loading up Photoshop to make something out of that awesome mine drop.
Stream doesn't see it, Dylan.
Oh, okay.
That's the magic of production. But okay, ladies and gentlemen, we do have the Observer on the way over here for Creature, something that always nice to get some scouting information off. But the question is, I guess, when is he going to maybe think about getting up a Warp Prism or something along those lines to push across the map with, and maybe just put some pressure on with those Stalkers?
I don't know if he will actually even make one, because usually you go just for a couple observers to get proper vision. Like, he doesn't actually have vision coverage around his bases right now, except for something out in front of the natural, whatever that is. This is a Stalker. So, like, he does ideally want some observers to be able to see things. He's going for the double forge, which is good again. But again, this just is just like a game that looks like someone that is not entirely safe with how you can actually, how greedy you can actually be with Protoss. Like, usually, like I was saying earlier before the mine drop, you can get a faster 3rd. You don't need a shield battery in the front there unless you actually scout them doing some sort of 2-base quick attack with like Cyclones or something. Epic didn't do any of that, so that shield battery was wasted, basically. His forges were relatively late. His observers are relatively late. So overall, it's something that could be way greedier than what it actually ended up being. But he's still in a decent position anyway. Yeah.
We do actually finally have the tank push starting to move out with the 3 medevacs, a handful of Marines, even a Marauder or 2 mixed in there. And Creature's mostly just sitting on those Stalkers because, like you said, he didn't really play super greedy behind all this, with the 3rd base coming up a little bit faster and all that good stuff. But even just his tech, he doesn't exactly have charge finishing up anytime immediately. So this might be a little bit of a dicey defense if he doesn't catch those Siege Tanks unsieged.
Yeah, he only sees this coming at him right now because he did not have those observers earlier. And now he's in this panic situation where he doesn't have a proper army to deal with this. There's 3 tanks that are properly spaced out. They're going to be laying siege on all of this. He's got shield batteries, but if you don't have the units to actually be healed by those, it's not really going to matter.
Oh god, the Siege Tank damage is too high for the shield batteries to even heal up these Stalkers once they get shelled away at. And even the Pylon gonna get taken out. Depowering the final remaining shield battery, not even getting a proxy pylon close to his third base anymore. Immortal coming out is going to be helpful, and those sentries are building up enough energy for Guardian Shield maybe. Charge about to finish up, but not quite finished up yet, and now finally Epic is pushing into the actual third itself.
Yeah, this is such an awkward situation for Creature because he was waiting so much for that 1-1 and charge to finish. They're all lined up perfectly, but this is like the biggest anti-timing ever. He's just unable to get those out in time, and now the push is literally about to kill him. He tries to blink forward onto the tanks, but he just has no units. The tanks are all spread out. Sure, he got one tank, but there's nothing else left.
Yeah, all the Zealots have been taken care of. The sentries are going to go down, and the third is going to fall shortly thereafter. Creature sitting at half of the supply, and Epic taking a really dominating game number one, it seems like, as he just continues to barrel
He even
forward.
got the Marauder. Look at that thing stuck in the medevac right there. Too tricky.
Man. GG. Epic taking game number one and looking pretty solid. I would say that was a pretty solid tank push. And like you said, maybe a few mistakes for Creature, not really having as much experience in the current meta, but overall, I'd definitely give some favoritism after that first game to Epic in this.
Yeah, for sure. He just seemed like he knew what he was doing. He timed it very well. Creature, like, he was playing overly defensive is what I was trying to get at mostly. Not trying to, like, poop on him super hard.
Yeah.
But he was playing very defensive when he didn't need to be, and then he wasn't really being offensive when he needed to be either. Like, usually if you go for the Twilight first builds, you're using the first however many stalkers, usually like 8 or 9. It's like 3 warping rounds, and then you go in, or 2 warping rounds, 3 out of the gateway. You go across. Once blink is done, the observer will be timed with it to be coming across with you, and then you pressure with the stalkers early on.
Yeah.
To bait shots off. To if like there's Widow Mines or whatever, you can kill them.
Yeah.
Or you can just pick off Marines one at a time because stalkers are nuts. But like when they're coming across the map though. At least at that point in that last game, we saw he didn't have any observers. He wasn't being aggressive with the stalkers, so he had no idea that attack was coming until it was literally right at his third base.
Yeah, he wasn't getting value from the upgrade that he invested into, and like getting that scouting information you were talking about. So maybe he'll be able to identify that, because that is something that, like, I think the old school, even the old school Blink Stalker builds, you'd oftentimes try and use those Stalkers to get some vision out on the map and everything. You maybe had to be a little bit more worried about Widow Mines at the time, so maybe that's part of the reason why he's staying a bit more defensive with the Stalkers. He's like used to that sort of idea or meta.
True. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Especially because Epic. Remember how I said at the beginning, like, he's always someone who's just going to come back randomly and do a Widow Mine drop and get a million kills. Like, he did a Widow Mine drop this game. Like, that's just his bread and butter. Bread and butter. Like, I played against him so many times, especially in HOTS. Like, every single game he would just do a mine drop. So yeah, it could be him just playing pretty passively in that regard, knowing that that's Epic's style. But once that medevac was dealt with, once the Widow Mines were dealt with, he needed to go across the map.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be starting up here in the top left-hand corner of the map, atop of the red Protoss player. Give it up for Creature. And his opponents spun down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, setting up 1-0 in this best of 3. Put your hands together for Psystorm Gaming's Epic.
Yay.
Yay. It's always a little weird because we have a hard time hearing the audience from back here.
I heard him a little bit that time.
Yeah, you get to hear him a little bit.
If I was a actual famous commentator, this is when I would say, "Hey crowd, can you make some noise?" And then they'd go ballistic. But I'm just no one, so they're not going to listen to me.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Tomorrow, I think a lot of the players right now still playing their matches out. Even a lot of the people who came in. This is the awesome thing about Cheesadelphia too, is that there are a bunch of people who sign up to play, and they are not even, masters or grandmasters. Like, some of them are like platinum, gold league, etc., and they still have a good time playing their matches.
Good on them. Good on them.
I remember I played in Cheesadelphia 2. And I tried to cannon rush Fat Cat Chef twice.
How did that go?
I actually got into a really good position, and I had a cannon that was about to finish up. Like, it was in a really nice spot. And then but I thought it was a pylon, and I thought it was an extra pylon I didn't need, so I canceled it, and then I realized it was the cannon. So I just had like 6 pylons. and absolutely no cannons.
Printf would have a word with you
Oh,
about
oh,
that game.
oh, yeah. I watched all of Printf's guides after that game.
a little late, I have to say.
Unfortunately.
Did you have your spreadsheet out afterwards as well? You
just writing down my notes. I did build order 66. I did not execute.
Nice, man. You know he does that though, right? Like he has he has his whole Excel sheet.
That's one of my favorite things about Printf. He is probably one of the most diligent StarCraft players out there.
I'll be real, and he's probably listening right now. Until I knew that he did that, I didn't really respect him that much because you know who respects cannon rushers, right?
I respect cannon rushers.
Well, you're just Ravi, so that doesn't matter.
Wow, shots fired.
But Printf is like the greatest cannon rusher.
It
gets to a point where like he is fully able to criticize Koreans on cannon rushes because Koreans don't actually know what a cannon rush, and he's just an absolute god.
All right. Well, speaking of small little differences in this game, by the way, there is a Twilight Council still coming down for Creature, but it's coming down in his main base, and he's proxied the pylon up here in the top right. Do you think this might be like a Dark Shrine play or something?
100%.
Okay.
If it's not, I'm gonna just leave the desk right now.
please don't. I'm just like waiting. This is it's gonna be like a proxy robo for a faster warp prism to make its way across the map. Oh man,
yeah,
right,
great.
There's
Thank
the Dark
God.
Shrine.
Thank God I'm not.
You are still considered our Protoss expert at the
Wonderful.
desk.
That's all I really cared about, my credibility.
There you go, man. All right, well, there is going to be a Widowmine coming out once again from Epic. And, ooh, going to lose the Reaper this time out in the middle of the map. So this is going to make it harder to scout this out. He's not going to see a Twilight Council that was not researching anything, which would have been a huge reveal.
That would have been very awkward for
You just drop on the fake Chrono Boost. Have you ever done that before?
Every single time. I am someone who has proxied DTs quite often. I still do it because it's the greatest thing. Rotterdam would have a thing or two to say about that. But yeah, that's the most awkward feeling in the world. But it's really nice also to get that Reaper because now that's just like one little extra thing that's off your chest that you don't have to worry about. It's just a nice relieving feeling. And what do you know we have coming across the map here other than, I think those are Widowmines, right?
Yeah. We got 3 Widowmines loaded on up inside
Classic
that medevac. The Dark Shrine getting close to finishing up. He has a proxy pylon a little bit closer, but also worth noting that, of course, in Legacy of the Void, slower warp ins if you don't have that gateway. So it's going to be a slightly slower attack than this Widowmine drop will be. But, oh, man, is Creature actually going to be prepared to handle those Widowmines? If he sacks 1 probe per Widowmine, he can still be okay, but only 2 Stalkers back at home.
Yeah, this is the fun part of PvT now, where you don't actually need to have a robo immediately to deal with these Widowmines. Oh god!
Oh no, that reaction
Creature,
time,
please.
it's non-existent, but oh, 5 workers, that's not amazing.
There's
but
one more.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Ooh, okay. Solid.
Ooh, that's still like the ouch,
oh,
owie moment.
Oh my god, Gemini, this is doing an absurd amount of damage. There's actually no scan available. He's 7 energy away from a scan.
I hope he splits those two.
Oh, he's going for stim.
Okay,
oh,
good.
this is so nice. This is so good. He's going to be able to get stim. He's going to be able to snipe off a few more of these SCVs. Even forces out another scan and gets away with the DT. This could not be going better.
I am not going to... I'm not going to hide away my Protoss bias. Anytime you see a DT run away from a scan, it is just the greatest feeling in the world. Oh no. Creature, please. No, not after. Okay, not like this.
I mean, it was still good damage done.
I agree. 15 probes died somewhere.
Oh my god. Wait, did the Widowmines not actually get cleaned up or something?
He picked them up and probably put them back.
Oh, man.
Oh my god.
Stalker's taking care of the bunker at the front. He might actually be able to kill this off. The SCV's coming in with a repair, and it is going to be saved. Oh. All right. Now we can force back these Stalkers. If he loses that, with Stim not coming out for quite a bit of time, the Stalkers could have done huge damage.
I didn't notice he got the Tech Lab. That's actually really good.
Yeah. He completely denied Stim.
That is the savior right there. Because, like, this game would have been...
Medevac!
Ooh, nice. That's a wonderful pickoff.
Yeah.
Like, this game right now would have been immaculate for Creature if that second set of Widowmine hits did not happen.
Yes.
But now that he got the stim with the Dark Templar, he's still like, okay.
Yeah.
If he did not get that stim, like he would be in a massive struggle bus. Like it would be leaving the station.
Oh yeah.
And well, I mean, he doesn't really have that many units in general, but like he would just be more aware of the fact that a stim timing could just kind of screw him up.
All right, Blink is now finishing up, and he has a 3rd base on the way behind this. So if he can put some continued pressure on, make Epic even feel uncomfortable, ooh, the Adept Shade is going to be a kind of nice little touch. But there was a full wall off over there, so it's going to be hard to do too much with it.
Denied. This is also the worst feeling in the world as a Protoss player. When you're in a meta where you know you can get away with double forge in like 99% of the situations, you find yourself in a game where you're only able to afford to go single forge, and you just feel like everything is going against you. Because when you're at a point where you're only able to afford single forge in post 4.0 SC2, you are in a bad spot.
Gets that high ground vision with the Adept Shade and is going to be able to snipe off a few of these units. Stalker Blink going to be on cooldown for a few more seconds. Now it's off of cooldown, so he can escape out whenever he needs to, but he feels like he can actually take some good trades here first.
Yeah, this is good, because this is what I'm saying. Stim's not done yet, so he's not able to effectively trade Epic, that is, and so Creature's able to get some nice shots off. 3
probe kills. He pulls away the probes for this natural a little bit faster, and there's no more Widow Mines left, so.
Perfect. He's going to do it again. No, his Stalkers aren't in position. He's just baiting it now. This is
but now he can go after the bunker.
Oh yeah, that would be a good pickoff though, actually.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't at least go into the Stalkers to like snipe an SCV or something. Now he's doing it.
I guess it gets dangerous now because Stim is finished up, so if he overcommits...
Well, yeah, but he saw the whole army chasing the Adepts.
Yeah.
But this is the fun part. He can bait this out every time now. He's able to, like, Epic doesn't know if he's actually going to get a blink up or not, so... But he's moving out anyway, so I guess it's not matter.
Okay. Stalker's finding some nice little pickups on some of these Marines. He's going to have to run away. Might lose a Stalker here or there, but having that Tech Lab picked off so much earlier, I mean, this is around the time that combat shields would be finishing up, and you'd be thinking about getting concussive shells or something with this many Marauders, but he is just so far behind on that the Marines die so quickly.
I'm surprised he's bringing this Immortal up here as well. I don't know what that's doing
It cannot escape.
I feel like that was like an accidental rally because of those observers or something.
Yeah.
Oh, the medevac. Oh, that's so nice. No! Okay, good.
He had to make him feel like he could get away with it.
It's the tease.
Yeah. You got to give him hope so you can yank it away. That's what Shakespeare taught us.
Did he?
Yeah. If you actually look at all of it, this is like such a tangent right now, but if you look at all of his plays, the most tragic of one of his plays, he always has just like terrible, terrible things happening, and then you'll have like maybe a little bit of humor for like maybe 2-3 minutes just to like lighten the mood so that you can make people feel even worse afterwards.
This is why I'm not a literature major.
Neither am I. What if I just made that up?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I have no information on that regardless, so I can't actually accept or deny that point.
All right, concussive shells actually on the way now for Epic, so those Stalker blink away. It's going to be a little bit harder to get away with if he's too far out on the map. Still got that 1 DT over by the third, and man, Epic just not having a third is so all in right now at this point, right?
This drop is going to be particularly devastating because there's no observer spotting for that as long as I'm aware.
Yeah.
He should be aware of it right now though, because that is such a small army. There's no reason for him to have that small of an army, but it doesn't look like he realized it in time.
Oh,
so this is going to drop everywhere.
And well, luckily there are a lot of pylons in the main base powering these gateways. So
no
it takes
Artosis pylons.
Yeah, I mean, there's at least 2 pylons per gateway, but oh god, if he snipes off all 4 of them, then that's actually almost every single gateway. Are you kidding me?
Recall, please, creature. No. Oh, he's just going to stomp the front push, which is good. He's going to kill all this, and including a Liberator, which is good. But he needs to recall. Like, he has enough energy for recall, right?
I mean, at least warp in some DTs. And oh my god, wait a second. That's every single gateway. You can't make any more units.
Has he forgotten that recall exists? Oh no.
He may have actually not been playing when recall got...
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my god.
Well, he's just killing all these medevacs. That's always very nice.
Okay,
but yeah,
he has to win here now, though.
He could have easily cleaned up that army in the main, but I feel like he just kind of panicked and forgot that recall is a thing.
All right, Liberator sieged up, going to be getting a lot of free pickoffs here, and stimmed up bio. You got a couple of SCVs being pulled. All Epic really needs to do is trade kind of okay, and continue to just kill everything on the other side of the map.
Yeah, he's still not recalling, so this is the classic, like, coming back after a new patch and is unaware of everything. It's really unfortunate. I did this so many times when 4.0 first came out. I was like losing a game, a massive drop comes in, I was like, oh wait, crap, I have this really OP thing called recall that allows me to just go wherever I want.
The moment when the Protoss player walks his way all the way back home.
This is the full-on struggle bus.
Like, even before recall, this is always a sign that a Protoss player is about to go full tilt, is when they are walking all over the units all the way across the map when they've already lost like 2-3 bases.
I feel like the tilt is already in full swing.
Well,
at least speaking of my own accord. Yeah. I'd probably be very tilted at this point.
God, I mean, he's taking the gold right now, and this is going to be really, really tough to actually try and pull back from. trying to figure out what he does from here. I believe that this is, in fact, the winner's match right now. So I guess Creature just got to do his best, try and do what he can, but at least he's not going to be knocked out of the group if he loses this game. Well, getting some good pickoffs.
He got, I think, a medevac, I think. Maybe,
Yeah.
or not. But there's a lot of Liberators now. That is brutal.
Well, luckily he does. Oh, okay, actually, never. I was about to say, luckily he has a lot of stalkers, and I look at it, it's actually just 7 stalkers.
Yeah, he just traded them all out versus that little bio army, which is kind of unfortunate.
He's going to have less stalkers than there are Liberators in a moment. And there's Ghosts out.
Watch this fight. Like, just watch it. It's going to go so badly.
All right. Immortal getting picked off for free at the front as well as some of the stalkers. Shield battery healing up some of the Zealots desperately in an attempt to hold on. But
yeah, like you're saying, even the ghosts too. Like that's just insult to injury. Like Epic is still on 2 bases, by the way. Like, and he's just got so much stuff right now. Creature is in full tilt mode. GG. Well played.
Epic takes the series 2-0 with some really, really solid play. And even though that last game looked a little bit dicey, he does a great job of holding on and bringing it back.
Yeah.